Hello and welcome to a Thirsty Thursday Toys Behind the Scenes. I was going to call it Behind the Drink, but I feel like that's already used by something. I'd like a more original name. If you can think of something, let me know. I'll make it worth your while. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the creation of the glowing drink that goes along with this Super7 glow-in-the-dark mini Shogun Godzilla. If you've not seen the recipe video for that one, you can see that right up here in the corner, maybe. I'll link to it. And it should also be the very next video on my channel. If you have seen that and you're curious to know more, well, you've come to the right place. Now, I knew from the get-go, obviously, the drink has to glow. I've been trying to come up with some glowing drinks for a while, and I knew that there were only 4 ways I could do it. I could use toxic substances, like the innards of glow sticks, highlighter ink, or something radioactive, maybe. Now, the drink has to be consumable without sending you to the hospital, so that's out. I could stick it in a glowing container or stick a glow stick inside it, but I thought that was too cheap, so that's out. I could color match it to make it look like the glowing plastic but not actually glow, or I could find black light sensitive, edible chemicals. Now at first I wanted the drink to be a shot. I thought an undersized drink would be a perfect pairing for an undersized figure. Then I thought, hey, I could put it in a shooter glass and do the top layer glowing and the bottom layer green just like the figure itself. Well, I could not get the layers to separate. And if you've been watching this channel from the beginning, you've seen other videos where I do play around with layers. This one could not work because I couldn't get the exact colors I wanted. Now the darkest liquor I could find was melon, and that wasn't quite dark enough. And if I added food color to it, the food coloring would just dissipate across the layers and not have a clean separation like I wanted. I played around with density the best I could. Temperatures, syrups, alcohol, nothing worked the way I wanted, so I scrapped that. So I figured then I'd focus on the glow and figure it out from there. So the first thing I thought of there was a gin and tonic. If you've ever ordered one in a nightclub with black lights, then you've seen the glow in action, unless they fill up your glass with mostly gin and a drop of tonic, which I've also received. Now, a regular G&T itself, while it glows well, doesn't color match the way I wanted, considering that all the ingredients are pretty much clear. Now, I know that lemon and lime juice have that kind of glowing plastic coloration to it, so I went heavy on the lime juice in the G&T. It was still a little too translucent, and the increased lime juice kind of muddled the glowing aspect. So after some Googling and phone calls with my organic chemistry majoring brother, we came up with vitamins B12 and B1. So I ended up stocking up on pills, energy drinks, and some energy shots, and thought I'd play around with those. And a brand new blacklight. Now the energy drink did glow, but it had more of an orange glow to it. And while that wouldn't work for this drink, that's good to know for future glowing drinks. Now the B12 energy shot was kind of disappointing. While it did smell delicious, it had this kind of pink tint to it. Additionally, while it does have this slight glow that really only shows up on camera, in person it's very, very weak. So that's out. Now that was very surprising because this has 240 micrograms of B12, which is 10,000%, compared to the measly 80% of the energy drink, which glowed much better. Now the tablets, though, we weren't certain of the solubility within the rest of the drink. There were some tablets labeled quick dissolve, and we figured that would be best because they're the most likely to dissolve within the rest of the drink. Now we also read that vinegar helps these dissolve, but that would be disgusting in the drink, and I can't stand the smell of vinegar as it is. Okay, there may be some pickly Bloody Marys in the channel's future, but they will be consumed entirely by my wife. So to replicate the acidity of the vinegar, we decided to use lime juice, which is already in a gin and tonic. And it worked. Now what I didn't realize is that the quicker the dissolve, the more likely it would be flavored and subsequently have some extra color to it. These quick dissolve B12s had a cherry flavor, and the coloring and flavoring masked any glow that it could possibly have. And it was bright pink. So while that would have been helpful in coloring my Passion Godzilla drink, seen right here, it would not work for this one. So then I moved on to a timed release B12 that did not appear to have any additional flavorings or colorings on the label, but still ended up being pink. While it did have a light glow, it was a pink glow, and again would not work for this drink. So here's where I switched to the B1. And it worked! It dissolved, it glowed, and a nice bonus is that the dissolved pill makes the liquid cloudier, which is exactly one of the effects I was hoping for to better color match the figure. Like I said, adding the lime juice to the gin and tonic does kind of muddy it up a bit. While the vitamin B1 lime juice solution doesn't have a very intense glow, it does help balance it back out. Now my wife and I like our gin and tonics to taste a certain way, with extra lime. And if you look up recipes online, you'll find a huge range of gin to tonic ratios. I wanted to maintain a certain ratio for the flavor, but I also wanted a higher tonic to everything else ratio for the glow factor, and I also wanted the color to match the glow plastic. So I took out one of the shots of gin, allowing for a higher tonic to everything else ratio. And this way the transparency of the gin wasn't thinning out the rest of the drink's color, so it could better match the figure. And that allowed us to have the separate green part by just adding in the food coloring. And yeah, I wish it had been something more real, because I always feel like I'm cheating when I'm using food coloring, but you know what? It works. You know, it's kind of fitting in a way, because the drink ended up not being exactly what I had hoped for, which is exactly what happened with the figure. Also, if you really want, you can take a glow stick bracelet, stick that right there into your glass, and it should float right on top to give it some extra glow. There's our drink with the glow bracelet. There it is with the bracelet and the black light, so you do have extra glow on top, just like our figure. Boom, there's a match. So as always, good luck on your hunt, thanks for subscribing, and please drink responsibly.